Marvel has released more official Hellfire Gala looks for the X-Men. This time, they've done pretty much a full mutant roll call and have rounded up all the various teams into groups to showcase what they'll look like as an ensemble cast. The Hellfire Gala is really being sold as the big event of 2021 for the X universe, though what's going to happen during it is as good as anybody's guess. Since the results of the X-Men election and the new X-Men team have already been revealed, there's really nothing driving this gala forward anymore from a clear fan anticipation standpoint, beyond all of these glamorous looks. In the comics, the gala is meant to be the first big party between the mutant nation of Krakoa and its human allies, and supposedly it's going to shake a lot of things up for the Merry Mutants with a big announcement, though in what that's regard to, I really don't know. I personally am expecting some drama to come from Mystique and perhaps even Destiny from beyond the grave, or maybe even Moira, and a friend of mine hypothesized that the X-Men might branch out and take over Mars, and that's the big announcement, hence the name Planet-Sized X-Men. But we'll just have to wait until June to find out for sure. In any case, it's been clear that a highlight of this event from a fan perspective most definitely is the fashion, and Marvel has really been delivering in terms of fan service. We've already seen the first wave of looks, and now this second wave has been compiled into a Hellfire Gala guide, which showcases all of the team designs and which issue they'll be appearing in. It even has a little more info with the event, like a cute little itinerary and a reading guide. This guide is totally free and is totally worth getting, so if you're like me and you live in a city that is still under COVID lockdown and thus you can't access your local comic book shop to pick it up, just head on over to Comixology and they've got a free download of it there. Truthfully, we're just assuming that all of these characters and these lineups are going to be joining the teams, so we really don't know for sure if that's going to be the case, but I hope it's true, and I'm rolling with it like that for the sake of this video. I have casually sorted out all of these team designs into a ranking of sorts, and I'm highlighting the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like in each of these reveals, so let's get right into it. Here is my ranking of every X-Men Hellfire Gala team look reveal. Number 10, X-Force. X-Force has by far the least exciting looks out of all the Hellfire Gala designs. I'm 50-50 on a lot of the team design reveals overall, but at least all the other ones have tried to be unique or outrageous or have some semblance of personality, and I can't say that anything here on X-Force has even really tried to accomplish that. According to Marvel, the X-Force team won't even be officially attending the gala as guests, but instead they'll be working the doors and providing security detail. With that in mind, then sure, I get it. Their fashion moments here have to be pretty understated and stealthy so that they can keep an eye out for any hooliganism. It's just such a shame because I really feel like some of the characters on this team could have really stolen the show at the gala. I could totally picture Wolverine, Sage, Domino, and even Quentin having some really stunning outfits. There was some great gala fan art that was designed of Wolverine and Quentin that I highlighted over in my top 20 Hellfire Gala fan art design videos. And it sucks now looking at these official boring costumes after seeing the exciting imaginative stuff that was brewed up from the fans and now will never be realized. I will say that at the very least this team look is one of the most cohesive of the bunch. If the theme was bodyguard, then they nailed the assignment. But I think it's a cop-out, and I'm just really sad that none of these characters will have any wow moments on the carpet. I really liked the bolo necktie on Wolverine, and I thought that it was a really smart addition because it harkens back to his Western-style taste in clothing. I actually thought that if he had been wearing like a sleek black cowboy hat here, then it might have added a touch of the personality that the outfit was lacking for me. But then I saw that everybody was wearing the same bolo necktie, and I started to hate it. It made a lot of sense to me when I saw it on Wolverine alone, but I don't get it on everybody else. The bolo necktie doesn't really vibe for them or with their styles, and I think it cheapens Wolverine's look by having everyone wear it. My favorite look on this team is actually Xavier's look, and that's not even just because his is the only one that looks unique here. I actually do like what Xavier's wearing, which I think might be the minority opinion out there. Even if Xavier was stacked up here against a bunch of other characters wearing cool clothes, my eye would still gravitate towards him and I'd be like, huh, that's interesting. His outfit to me is a reference to his old field gear outfit that he wore with the team after the Secret War when he was accompanying the X-Men on a few missions like fighting the Dragon in Tokyo and rescuing Rachel from Selene, and I actually really enjoyed that campy little unitard that he used to wear. This is a very blinged out version of that uniform, or at least that's what I'm seeing. It looks like his threads will have some sort of psionic glow to them, and it looks like he's using some sort of Krakoan flora for his boots and his sleeves. I really like all of those ideas together, so in a final rendered version of this art, I think it could look quite radiant. When I look at what he's wearing and I consider what he's trying to tell us through his clothes, I actually get like a mutant messiah vibe, which I think is a ballsy move for him. He's definitely charged the way for mutant rights and is an architect of the new reality that everybody's living on Krakoa, but he's also a guy who's done some pretty shady dealings, and he's still doing shady stuff, like banishing people to the pit and refusing to resurrect precogs, so I certainly wouldn't classify him as my mutant messiah, and I wonder if there are any others out there who would feel the same way, like, say, Mystique. Xavier on the X-Force team is a super interesting concept to me, so I do hope that he's joining it. Him being part of the Black Ops mutant militia is extremely backwards from the idealized version of how we know Xavier's dream, but times have changed since he first dreamt that dream so long ago, so being on X-Force could be the modern day answer as to how Xavier hopes to achieve things. Number 9, Excalibur. I wasn't overly thrilled by what I saw with Excalibur's team look. It all just looked like big, flowing, high fantasy garments, which, as I say it, I realize that is very much the kind of book Excalibur is trying to be. I think they get another A+ in terms of team theme cohesiveness, but I just didn't think that the execution really pushed these clothes to elevate them to the next level. They just look like fabrics that have been draped over these characters' bodies, but they don't look like the fabrics are necessarily being worn. I think the most interesting one here is Jamie Braddock's, because at least he has something interesting and some sort of unique shaping in that high collared cape robe thing that he's wearing. Is his outfit all white, or is he just left uncolored? I really can't tell, to be honest, but I kind of like it as an all-white design. I can't say that it really evokes Jamie for me, though, because he's so wild and crazy that I'd expect a splash of color everywhere, but maybe he's turned over a new, more subdued personality since his monarchy began. I really like Gambit's outfit, too. It's dripping with sex appeal, which is exactly the embodiment of who Gambit is as a character, but it's also a little bit classy. As a thief, he has to be able to blend in, but still have a little bit of edge, and I think that's exactly what this outfit has for him. I wanted a lot more out of Jubilee and Megan's looks, though. They both look like they are missing things, like more jewelry or accentuation or something. Jubilee especially looks like it needs a fascinator or some sort of statement piece on that exposed shoulder. Megan's is really going for that fairy queen fantasy, but I wish the embroidery was more pronounced on it, or that they zhuzhed the bottom half of her gown up a bit with some more color, because it looks like she's just being swallowed in a sea of blue. I do not like Richter's look, and I think it pushes him in way too deep with all of this druid nonsense. This look totally does look like a druid, so mission accomplished there, but I hardly see any element of Richter in it. The only aspect I really like of it is the briefest glimpse of a mesh shirt, which is like, to me, Richter trying to break free of this direction that the creators have his character going in. Even though not all of the looks nail it for me here, if this lineup is indicative of the new Excalibur team, I'm honestly all for it. Megan joining the ranks and filling the hole left by the departing rogue is a totally welcomed idea for me, and I think the more that they get the Braddock extended family involved here and let the actual X characters go off and do better things with their time, then the more fulfilling this book will become. Number 8, X Factor. Oof, these looks are all over the place. I guess we can't expect every team to have a theme though, right? But after the cohesiveness of the previous ones, this does just feel like a bit of a sloppy mess when they're all together. The absence of a team theme aside though, I don't really think a lot of these designs work based on their merit alone either. Decan is boring me to tears with his simple gray suit. He's way more of a hip, cutting-edge character than this, and I'm not buying for 1 second that he wouldn't be wearing something a bit trendier. A fun tattoo design and a loosened collar button isn't really making up for a lack of overall personality in this outfit. I don't understand Prodigy's outfit at all from a character perspective. I'm all for male characters wearing dresses or however they want to express themselves, but I really don't understand these wings. As far as I know, this isn't a reference to his powers or anything, so it's feeling just way out of left field for me, and I actually think it does him a total disservice. I would much rather him have worn something that's a little bit more indicative of who he is as a character, or something that has to do with his power of like intelligence or something, versus this, which looks like it was just slapped on him as a potential queer stereotype. And I also think Polaris' outfit is pretty boring. I really enjoyed the like psionic glow thing from Xavier's outfit, but this green magnetic glow just makes her look kind of alien to me. It's like she's that lady from Mars Attacks or someone from the Jetsons. I think the cut of the dress is cool and it's got like a really interesting shape, but I wish it had more color patterns or something in it because it's all just blending together to me and I can't differentiate between any of the details within it, which is a shame because I think the details are actually what makes this dress more interesting than it just being a sleeping bag that's floating around her body, which is kind of what it looks like. Kyle's look is okay. I'm not a big fan of Kyle to begin with, and I wish he and Northstar would break up so that Jean-Paul can go back to living his best life. But I can see why it's more important to have 2 gay men married in comics and living happily than it is to appease my meager plot dissatisfactions. I just think Kyle is naggy and boring, and his outfit kind of looks that way to me too, so I can't say that it isn't representative of him as a character. My top picks for X Factor are definitely Aurora, Eye-Boy, and Northstar, but only barely Northstar. He's definitely getting in touch with his Dom side in this look, and I can totally appreciate that of him, but something about it is a little bit off-putting to me, and I think it's that exposed side there. It just feels unnecessary and like a little bit try-hard. Everything else about the outfit I really enjoy, and it looks like it would be really squeaky. Aurora's looks super majestic, and even though I thought it was a little bit boring in the top half, I really, really like the way the entire bottom half just totally flows like Millicent in the wind. I can totally see how it would flap along her legs while she's flying, and I think she would kind of look like a sexy Ursula the Sea Witch, but in the skies. Eye-Boy's design is an interesting one. It's definitely not the typical silhouette that we are getting from a lot of the guys, and I think his is an example of an atypical design that's executed really well. I totally see why this works for his character. Eyes are obviously his motif, and not only is he going pretty naked and exposing all of the eyes that are already a part of his natural body, but the design on his fabric and on that laurel-y collar around his neck are also reminiscent of eyes. I think his design succeeds for me where Prodigy's fails. For Prodigy, none of this outfit tells me anything about who he is, unless it's a reference that I'm just not getting. But for Eye-Boy, one look at this, and I totally get him. I think it's a brave choice for him too, as he's usually pretty covered up, and if he's ever going to make this kind of statement, then why not make it at the Hellfire Gala? Number 7, Way of X. I was a little bit disappointed with some of these designs too. Dazzler in particular. Dazzler is a character for whom the Hellfire Gala just seems like it would be the perfect time to really pull out some of that old pop star routine and deliver a show-stopping number on the green carpet. It certainly goes with her character to do something like that, and in all likelihood, it could probably be something campy too, because that's just the kind of career Dazzler ended up having. Dazzler's look in this design, though, kind of underwhelms me. Her being surrounded in light is totally campy, so that's great, but it feels like the light is being used in a way that's just an excuse to not actually make anything great for her to wear underneath it. In my opinion, the powers of these characters should never be the main attraction or focus of the garments, but should instead be used as a way to augment the look or to help take it to that extra elevated place. Just like how the characters aren't defined by their powers, the gala clothes should not be defined by the powers either. Take away Dazzler's dazzle, and what's she really wearing here? It's just like a black pantsuit with a plunging neckline and some silver hems. It's just not something that a pop star would wear to a gala, and this idea misses the entire mark for me. I do like Loa's look, even though it's pretty on the nose referencing a lionfish, which in turn is referencing her aquatic habits and fascination with water. But I think they designed it in a really elegant way so that it looks great on her, even if she does look a little bit like a fish. Mercury's look, if I can even call it that, feels totally lazy to me. Is this even a design? It's just her body with some thermal colors on it, like she's a mood ring or something. I think it totally does her dirty compared to the effort that was put into a lot of the other characters, and I'm not happy about it. Pixie's outfit I do really enjoy, and I'm really happy she's embracing her dark side with it. Pixie is only ever interesting to me when she's missing part of her soul, and it feels like that's what this black dress is supposed to be referencing, so I really enjoy it. I find her bubbly personality super annoying, so the more I see her tortured by her dark side, the more compelling of a character she becomes to me, and this look seems like it's doing a good job of playing with those two competing aspects of her by mixing those dark blacks with the hot pinks. It also looks very grown up for her, which I am also all about. Nightcrawler's outfit I'm 50-50 on. Going pirate was the safe and predictable route here, and that's not a bad thing, and I think that he looks sleek, but it looks like they just kind of covered him up in this long red jacket so as to get out of doing any intricate designs on him. Maybe the jacket is meant to be more like a robe, like a priest robe, and so he's like a piratey priest. Pirates are people who like bounty and treasure and gold, and they wear things that set them apart from others by flaunting themselves and flaunting the detail work that's in their garments. There's a prima donna-ness to being a pirate, so for Nightcrawler to just wear a long jacket really feels like a slap in the face to all the Captain Hooks and Jack Sparrows who have come before him. I think this is a fun team as a whole, even if their looks are kind of all over the place. And with the addition of Dazzler to this book, I think things are going to get a lot more exciting in the way of X. Number 6, Marauders. Can I first say how much I am so down with this cast? With Storm leaving the team, there will be a huge void to fill, and I love the idea of Banshee stepping up to fill it. Do I think he can scratch that itch that will be left by Storm? Probably not. But for finishing second place in the X-Men election, I'm glad that he's being given the chance to at least join a team, if not the main one. As far as Banshee's outfit goes, though, meh. It's pretty boring. It's just a tailored version of his costume, so there's really not much to say about it. I do like his superhero costume, and I think it works really well for him, but I wouldn't go so far as to make it his gala outfit too. It's just overkill. I don't really understand the furry neckline on his cape, and I dare say that the outfit would somewhat be improved without it. The loosened necktie is also a bit weird, but it's also kind of flirty and quirky, so I don't totally mind it. And curiously enough, I find that the highlight for me when I'm looking at this outfit as a whole is the loafers. Those stand out to me as the most unique element here, and everything else just pretty much feels like been there, done that, recycled old Banshee. Hands down, though, my favorite designs here are Bishop and Pyro. I love how Bishop is really leaning into his red Bishop role of the Hellfire Club, and I think he looks super sexy in this outfit. It's kind of a mix of his tough guy routine, but with some dressed up elements to it, like that embroidery that's on his vest and all those thin chains that are strewn across his body. I'm even into the sunglasses, although those are probably teetering on a bit too goofy even for me, but I think that overall he did a really great job of matching simplicity with extravaganza, and the same can be said for Pyro too. I wouldn't normally think that the all-fringe shirt would be a seller for me, but I think he pairs it really well with just a simple jacket and pants. Both Pyro's and Bishop's look here share elements that I enjoy, like the subtle embroideries on their jackets, and I really like how the embroidery on Pyro's is reminiscent of flames licking at his body. Even his comb-swept hair is a really nice, dressy touch here for him, and it's fun seeing his edginess designed with a touch of class. Sebastian Shaw's look is pretty ho-hum. It's nothing out of the ordinary for him, so I can't really say too much about it. Of course, he would adorn his own jacket with medals of valor highlighting his own accomplishments, so that's totally Sebastian Shaw of him. But because he dresses in a similar way like this any other day of the week, I don't really feel one way or the other about this design. Iceman, on the other hand, I have a lot of feelings about. This is probably my least favorite design out of almost every Hellfire design I've seen. I'm noticing a trend where the creators are dressing the queer male characters in dresses, and as a gay man myself, I actually think that's a bit problematic. It's like Iceman is being characterized not by his personality, but by his sexual representation, and I don't really think that's okay. I think this design really edges on stereotypical, and if I could see Iceman in it, then I'd be fine, but all I see is someone designing something that's meant to be marketed to the queer audience, and I think it does his character a total disservice. I don't see Bobby wearing heels or a dress. Sinister maybe, or even Exodus, but it just feels way out of character for Iceman. And again, these wings. Am I missing something here? Why are all of the queer male characters getting wings? The best part of this design is definitely Bobby's facial expression, because I can tell that he's just keeping it cool. In that respect, I can see him wearing this outfit as a playful thing to wear. That's more aligned with Bobby's personality, and if that's why he chose it, then I get it. He's experimenting with his sexuality, so why not go a little ham? It's definitely not what I would have chosen him to wear, and I do think that it's lazy, surface-skimming representation of who he is, but at least he's having fun. Number 5, New Mutants. The New Mutants are another team that don't really have a cohesive look as a team, but I think that all of these designs are so outrageous that that might have been what they were going for. All of them are really bold and they stand out, and it is a team of a lot of big personalities, so it makes sense that they'd all kind of compete for spotlight in their own unique ways. I think my favorite out of this lineup is Danielle Moonstar. Something about hers just feels really regal and correct, and I love her sort of mixed media dress. It looks like there's some plumage down there, with the bottom half being comprised of feathers, and the top half is just like a standard fabric of some sort. I think that'll look really cool when the final design is rendered. I also really like that crown. I'm not sure what gem that is, maybe it's an emerald or a larimar, but whatever it is, it looks awesome on her, and paired with that armor on her arms and that armor in her braid, she just really looks like Valkyrie royalty. And honestly, all the others look really cool as well. Magic has some Inferno-based color palette happening here, with a dress that I imagine is going to be floating freely around her or something, maybe like it's stepping in and out of limbo. I'm curious about what those horns are going to be made of and if it will be fire or some sort of like arcane ribbony looking magic. Warpath is a bit of a football player meets blowfish with those shoulder pads, but they aren't so crazy as for me to hate them, especially not because I feel like the rest of the outfit is also unique enough so that they don't stand out in like a sore thumb sort of way. I like how his jacket is cut in like a penguin-y length, and his big broad chest is just really accentuated with that pop of red. I'm not really crazy about Karma's big puffy jacket dress here. The hood is definitely meant to echo the physical manifestation of her possession powers, but I don't think it does it as sleekly or as effortlessly as some of the fan art designs did. I really enjoy when clothes play with proportions, but something about this still feels incomplete to me, and maybe it needs to visit some other color to help break up the overwhelming pink just a tad. And then Warlock. I mean, sure, why not? It looks like he just got ready for the school yearbook photo, and while I'm sure he could do much, much better than this with a little bit of effort, it's a cute little nod to his childish disposition. Number 4, X-Corp. If these team displays really are announcements of who will be joining the cast, then suddenly I am all in on X-Corp. Selene and Sunspot are both business tycoons, and I love the idea of them joining this book. Selene has been busy in the human world abusing her role in the power elite, so I'm sure that she'll have lots of juicy intel to give Angel and M as they work the human boardroom scene. And Bobby, he's been known to just outright purchase any corporation that gets in his way, so with his wealth and Selene's power, suddenly nothing looks like it can ever get in their way. Selene is probably the highlight for me though, just because it's so very, very high priestess BDSM that I can't stop looking at it. It's like she's taken her Black Queen attire to a fetish shop and has somehow leveled up her already kinky wardrobe. I'm very happy to see that the crop has made its grand reappearance as well, and that High Pony is just reaching to the goddess herself. I really like Mastermind's outfit overall because I think that it's really clean and well tailored, but I'm a little bit disappointed because it looks like something that we've already seen him in. It reminds me of his time spent in the Hellfire Club manipulating Jean Grey / Phoenix into becoming the Black Queen. I know that was just like an illusion of him, and granted this outfit is probably just another illusion too, but I can't help but feel like it's an uninspired repeat of something that he's already worn, and I would have loved to have seen this but with a fresher spin. Multiple Man's outfit is really cool, but it's like a bit superhero-y, which is ironic that I'm saying it because all of these people are superheroes, but his outfit is the only one that really feels that way to me. I do like it, and I like the color, and I think the elements that he's wearing all go really well and nicely together, but something about it feels like it's a character from the DC or Malibu universe that's paying the X-Men a visit. And as far as Sunspot is concerned, well, I'm really excited to see what this looks like on the pages. I think Roberto is a super sexy character, so seeing him so willfully exposed is a lot of fun for me. But I also really like the way that the little fabric that he is wearing is shaped around his body. It's not like they're just hanging loose or draped over him. It looks like they have a very fiery, molten feel to them, and even though the folds look like they might have been starched into submission, I still get the sense that there's something flowy and not quite so rigid about this outfit as it may first appear like. I mean, yeah, it's a bit plain if you really just boil it down. It's a piece of fabric that's been cut up and strewn across his body, but I think it's unique enough to keep me interested and that it contrasts really well against his crackling solar body. Number 3, Sword. I think all of these sword outfits look really great. I'm really hoping that some Arakko mutants crash the Hellfire Gala party, because ever since X of Swords ended, we really haven't seen any of them do anything. So watching Korra debut and now attend the Hellfire Gala reminds me that they still exist, and it reignites my interest in learning more about them. Especially poor Redroot. Somebody rescue her, please. Korra's outfit actually makes me think of something that Sia, like the singer in our world, might wear. It's probably just the haircut and the puffy mini dress, as I'm sure Sia has worn one like this before, but Sia-ness aside, I think it's all really cute. We don't know a lot about this character yet, so it's hard for me to do any sort of deep dive into its representativeness of her character, but as a standalone garment, I think it's fun, and I love how it plays with layers and, more importantly, peeling away those layers. Manifold looks like a total hunk in this jacket. Honestly, to all the men out there, a jacket over an exposed chest is just like a winning look overall, and I don't think that any character can go wrong doing it. Manifold's design is another example of a look that tells me about him without beating me over the head with it. His teleportation circles are a prominent motif, and it also looks like he's sparkling with some sort of rhinestone encrustment, which I suppose might be to hearken to the way that his power is not just teleportation, but is actually bending through time and space or something. WizKid's design is a lot of fun. This is a guy that's just here to be cool and quirky in his own unique way. I like that he's not trying to blend in, but also that he's not trying to purposely make a statement. It's not like he's here being like, hey, look at me, look at how quirky I am. I literally get the sense that he just put all of this together because it gave him a chuckle, and he could care less about other people praising it or other people critiquing it. WizKid is a character that could really stand out in this book, especially if they really play up his cool, calm, confident self-assuredness, just like how he's wearing this outfit. I think he could end up being what Marvel wanted Quentin Quire to be in the fandom, but without that annoying pompousness that Quentin displays all the time. Magneto's outfit is bordering on too much, but I really do enjoy it just the way it is, so I don't think I would change a thing. It's the color scheme that really sells it for me. I love the gold and the white, or is it silver, or is it gray? Well, whatever it is, I think that the color pops, and that the little sprinkle of fuchsia here and there is just the right level of whimsy on an already fairly whimsical outfit. The gold just looks so metallic, and they probably are actual solid gold filaments because, knowing him, he's not one to dress in anything that he can't weaponize, so in effect, he just looks like a really regal and powerful, well-dressed weapon. I think Frenzy is probably the standout for me here, though. I like all of the looks in this lineup, but Joanna's just feels so sexy and powerful. I love everything about it. The helmet and the color and the way that the fabrics crisscross at the belt and flow down around her. In all honesty, I can't say that I feel as though this represents her in any way. I'm not really seeing a lot of frenzy here from any of her past allegiances or any frenzy that I know of, but that might be just what this look is all about. Frenzy has a really great opportunity in this book to finally become a standout character. She was given a few shots in some of the titles while she was living on Utopia, but she never really shone the way that she did during the Age of X storyline, and I feel like giving her a lead role in Sword is Marvel's way of pushing her to the forefront, and if this outfit is all about her reinvention, then I'm all about it. Number 2, Hellions. I am super sad that we don't get to see any of the other Hellions in this reveal. I was dying to see what Nanny and Orphan Maker were going to wear, but alas, it appears as though they are not on the guest list for this event. I think every design in this Hellions lineup works really well for the characters, but my one critique is that some of them just look like they're wearing slightly tailored versions of their costumes already. If I'm going to hark on Banshee for that, then I can't let Sinister or Exodus get away with it either. In all honesty, I kind of wanted a little bit more from Exodus. I do like this look, and I think he looks super powerful in it, but I mean, show us some range, man. This is literally just a bigger cape around his typical acolyte wear, and with the most important part of his costume being removed in the first place, namely that gold statement piece that he always wears on his back. I can see how he upped the level of sophistication in this armor here, though, and I think it looks appropriate for the Hellfire Gala, but I do wish that he went with something a little bit more off-kilter than what we've seen him in already. And the same goes for Sinister. He's been obsessed with his cape in recent Hellions issues, so it's no surprise that they drag that joke on out for this gala too by giving him like a supersized version of a cape. But I just wish that he went with a different design. This is not starkly unique enough from what he usually wears day to day to really merit this being any kind of an accolade. And that's a missed opportunity because the way Sinister has been characterized in recent years as being all about that camp and tongue-in-cheekedness, it really lends himself to going all out for this event. I do like both Sinister's and Exodus's outfits, so I'm not knocking these designs at all. I just think that they could have tried a little something different. I think my favorite of all these designs is actually Mystique. This is a silhouette that we have not yet seen on her, and it's kind of what I mean when I say it's fun to see something different. It reminds me a lot of an old action figure of Mystique where you could transform her body into like a monster by attaching monster pieces. The way that fur is framing her head, it just kind of gives me like a feralness to her. And I think that we are supposed to get the impression of her being wild just by the way the whole gown is kind of combed outwardly. I think the dress is also really sexy, and even though it's nothing that we've seen her in before, I can still see a lot of Mystique in this. And one of my favorite parts is actually that slicked back hair. Just like how Emma's slicked back hair and her diamond fringe dress really pulled that whole look together for me, I think this slicked back hairdo contrasts well with the wildness of the rest of her gown. I think both Psylocke and Havoc also look great. Of the two, I think Psylocke looks better than Havoc though. I really enjoy those sheer baggy sleeves, and I think there's something elegant and simple in how the dress is designed. Psylocke is an over-sexualized character to begin with, even though I wouldn't say that fits with her personality these days, especially not Quanon's, so seeing her in something like this that's still sexy but a lot more modest actually feels way more on brand for the new her than the usual superhero costume does. I'm not convinced about that garden that seems to be attached to her dress in the front there, though. It feels like it'll just stick out and get in the way, but overall, it's very nice. And as for Havoc, well, is this a robe? Because that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. The plasma discharge design veers on being a bit too much and mind-boggling, but I think they stopped it before it got to that level. My favorite parts of it are the black sash belt and the white shoulder huggers. It's about time that a male superhero got himself a legendary sash belt, and even though those white bands around his shoulders look super flimsy and as though they're made out of paper, they are the one element of this look that save it from just being another boring silhouette, so I think that they serve it really well. Number 1, X-Men. Hands down, the best assortment of designs is on this X-Men team reveal. Almost every single one of these designs is a total home run. Seeing this lineup under the X-Men moniker makes me feel as though there's a chance that these reveals are actually not indicative of who will be on the team's post-Hellfire Gala, because as Marvel has already revealed, neither Colossus nor Cannonball are slated to be on the new X-Men team. But I mean, who knows? This could all just be a red herring, or these characters could join the team after the first issue, so everything is just speculation. The world at large has been thirsting after Colossus in this outfit, and it's no wonder why. He looks absolutely magnificent here. This is truly something that we've never seen Colossus in before, but it's also not totally removed from who Colossus is as a character, and specifically I'm referencing that fur, which I believe is meant to harken to his Russian roots. The sheer shirt with those gold chains and that very interesting cape is all like really quite breathtaking, and even his facial hair and the haircut are not to be messed with in this look. I don't expect high quality fashion moments from Farmer Boy Piotr like ever, but he really nailed it this time. Sync looks really, really cool in his design. Like, literally a cool dude who you'd want to hang out with, but who might be too cool to be seen with you. I love that wide belt and how everything is just black on black on black, except for that huge multicolored trench coat that's meant to mimic his aura powers. Even without the jacket though, I think that everything underneath just looks super sleek and well put together. And that hat! Sync is definitely one of the most fashionable of all the designs presented here, and it kind of reminds me of the witches from American Horror Story Coven. Cannonball's outfit is also fantastic, and dare I say it, much like Peter, this is the best he's ever looked. It amazes me what these little farm boys are turning out for the gala. This cape and suit combo is everything. It looks so good on him, and it's a uniquely fashionable moment that still borderline crosses over into superhero costume territory. But whereas Multiple Man's looked a bit too out there to really be in mode, Cannonball's looks like he'll be eating dinner first and then saving the day after dessert. I think Laura's outfit looks nice too, but I'll be honest, it isn't one of my favorites, especially not stacked up against all of these other gems. Something about it feels, I don't know, unfinished. I know I've said that a few times, but I think it's missing some sort of collar or something around the sleeves. I love an asymmetrical cut in any dress, but I don't know if it's really working for this one. Something about the cut looks like it was done in a rush and without much intention, which, knowing Laura, maybe it was. She could have sliced it up right before this photo was taken. Maybe the hair just needs a bit more body to it or something. I can't say that I necessarily see Laura as someone who gets dressed up willingly, so in that respect, I think everything that's turning me off about this outfit is actually a good indicator of her characterization. But if we're just talking straight up fashionable moments here, then yeah, I do wish there was a little something extra zhuzhed up somewhere. I think my overall favorite and favorite of all the designs I've seen might be Sunfire. I gasped when I first saw this design. I think it's really, really breathtaking. The homages to his superhero costume are plain as day, primarily with the mask and the flame designs, but the whole thing just looks really glammed up. His shoulders are, I think, meant to be an homage to like the rooftop tilings of Japan, or maybe like a modern day version of the shoulder pads that samurais used to wear, but whichever it is, it screams Japan to me, and I think that's a really beautiful and elegant touch. Japan is a huge source of Sunfire's ego and pride, and so seeing his country reflected in his outfit this way makes a lot of sense, and I'm happy that they didn't just slam an image of the flag across his chest. I think the fit of that jacket is so nice, how it goes in at the waist and then slightly flows down by the legs, and then the bagginess of the pants just to offset how tailored everything else is just, all in all, a really, really great, well-executed look. And that's it! This is what I suspect to be the end of all the Hellfire Gala design reveals until the formal event this summer. I'm really happy that Marvel went in on the fashion side of this gala and has been feeding us with reveal drops like this. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Feel free to stick around my channel and browse for more videos like this one, or follow me on social media for all kinds of other X-Men related content. Thanks for stopping by today, and be sure to come back soon for more great X-Mentations!